I'm living at my grandma's place right now. It's real far away from where I normally live. And I went to this gym, and there's so many people there. It's a great environment. I've actually been to the same gym at exactly the same time last year. And the difference between now and last year is a few days ago, I went in the gym and I was gonna go. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna speak to some people, meet some new people. I got there and I hardly spoke to anybody. I hardly said a word. And I kind of like try to push myself. I was like, just go say hi to one person. So I did. But I just wasn't in the mood to speak to anybody this day. Sometimes when you go to a new place, or it's just like a bad day and you're really tired, it's super hard to speak to everybody. Now, a lot of people will say the advice like, oh, just force it, just talk to people anyways. And a fragment of that is true, you know? You want to push yourself to start the conversations, to say hi, but you don't want to push yourself to you don't want to force yourself to carry on the conversations, because if you're not letting the conversation naturally flow and you're too tense, then the conversation will never naturally flow. So what did I do? I kept going to this gym, and look, it's not like I've had some miracle story yet. I've been at this gym for a few days. But I remember this similar thing happened last year when I slowly started to go more and more. I started to meet more and more people. I started to be more and more social. And the same thing started to happen yesterday when I was in the sauna, and for 3 or 4 days I hadn't said a word when I was in the sauna. And then yesterday I was just like, oh hey mate, how you going? Had a couple chats. It just slowly increases. One, as you get more comfortable with your environment, you start to know more people, you just get more used to it. And two, if you just keep pulling up with the intention to be a bit more social, then it happens. Even the most social guy, I'd like to class myself as one of the most social guys there is. Even people like me just don't want to have a conversation all the time, or are really reserved sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that, bro. It's just that you can't stay like that forever. I mean, I have this tactic though. It's not like a tactic, but basically, let me just give you a story. My friend, my best mate, he said, Finn, let's go to the sauna. He invited along our other mate who we both hung out with before. And he invited this new guy, and I had never met him before. I get in the sauna and they're like, yeah, look who's here. They're hyping me up. When you have good friends and you've built a good connection with them, you can pretty much say anything that comes to mind when you're around them, because you know oh, they're probably going to laugh at you if they're a good person, if you're really close. And I remember I got to the sauna and I just started telling these stories to my good mate, but there was this new guy there that I just met. And as I told more and more of these stories, he was like, yo, these are some cool stories, bro. You seem like a really cool guy. And then it hit me. If we just spoke to new people the way we speak to as our close friends, then we would become closer with those people. They would like us more. But we filter out all of the good stuff and give them all the boring small talk stuff because we're scared that they're going to judge us. We're scared that they won't like who we really are. And the only way to get over this really comes back to my first point. You just need to keep showing up to somewhere where there is new people. If my gym was a bit smaller, there's this other gym I go to, which it's not a good shout because it's basically only old people. Even there I would still speak to more and more people. I still know a bunch of people in that gym. It's just that it's so small that you're not actually making many friends there. And so the advice that I'm giving is go somewhere where a sports club is perfect, where there genuinely is people your age. My gym that I'm going to right now is good because there are quite a few people my age. But go with a friend, and then, or you either go with a friend who you're comfortable with, and then it'll be easy to start new conversations because you can just be yourself around your friend and then invite other people in the conversation. Or instead of that, you can just speak this is a higher skill level. You can speak to so when you're speaking to a new person, just imagine they're your good friend and start speaking to them like that, and then you get closer to them. See, that's more advanced. It's so much easier when you just have one of the boys around and you can just completely goof out, just say exactly what you want to say. Now, I remember a few days ago, my grandfather, not my grandfather, my grandma's brother, he came over to our place and he started telling these stories, and he was actually pretty good at it. And it reminded me something that I already knew. Telling stories is the most interesting way to communicate with anybody. Like, I remember when I first started becoming more social, every week at school, I would come in and there would be these guys, or like, okay, one guy and then this one girl, and every recess we would hang out with both of them. So it would be us three, and we would like walk around and have a laugh and everything. And every single Monday, I would say, "What did you do this weekend?" They're like, "Oh, not much," or maybe they tell me something, and then they'd ask me. And every week, I would tell a story. I'd be like, "Yeah, so on Friday we went here, blah 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 blah," and I swear, bro, this made it so much easier to like be an entertaining guy, to have something to speak about. Because I'm not one of those guys who wants to sit around debating like politics or anything. I don't want to sit around talking about that stuff. I just want to share the stories and the things that I'm doing if I'm interested in them. And I want to hear interesting stories from other people. I promise when you meet somebody, it might feel like a bit unnatural if you're saying hi to somebody to just bring up a story. But it's not like you're just overthinking it, bro. Once you get in the story, it's interesting. And honestly, it's just an entire limiting belief. Like, you can literally go up to somebody, you don't speak too much, say like, yeah, you should probably say like, "Hey, how you going, mate?" Quick like introduction, like, what's it called? Quickly just like greet them. But then after you've greeted them, if there's nothing to speak about, just say, "Hey, do you want to hear about what I did this weekend, bro?" Like, it's literally that simple. And then you start telling a story. And most people, if they have any like human decency and respect, they're gonna listen to your story even if it's like a little bit because that's just the way you communicate with people. But the thing is, bro, you might start telling a story about something boring, like video games, for example. You see, the thing is, that could work getting closer with other people who play video games, but if you want to make friends with like interesting people, then you're going to want to have interesting stories too. Maybe you just like, okay, there's two parts of this, like two sides of the coin. The first part is that you might just not be a good storyteller and you can work on that, which I'm not going to give too much advice on that because I know I'm good at storytelling, like good enough to entertain you, at least I hope, but I'm not like an expert. But what I can say is do more interesting things, because if you have the most interesting story and the worst storyteller, they can still tell a good story. Like, if you have a story of the coolest thing that ever happened and somebody who's super shit at telling stories, it could still be a really interesting story. And so that's why I recommend, bro, maybe the first step is for you to just get out of your house and do something interesting. Like, message a friend right now and go do something really like fun, exciting. And I get it, bro. You might only have like friends who want to go out and drink, or you might only have friends who they're never free, or you're studying for exams right now. I completely understand. And there is like a line of discrepancy to draw between like, oh, do I actually want to hang out with this guy or not? But I really recommend you should just send a message to like as many friends, or get a group together, especially if you have people you like hanging out with, and just plan something. Go to the water, go out for like a day, go for a hike, bro. This one time, my three friends, and actually the same guys from the sauna, speak of the devil, from the story earlier, we all went on this hike. I remember that as just such a fun, like, that was just such a good day. We were all laughing. It was a great story about how we like got lost on the hike, and how we went out to hike at like 5 p.m. and the sun was setting, and so we had to like speed run the entire hike. It was a beautiful story to tell. It was just like a great day. It was tough at the time, for sure. But when you do these things that are out in the real world, you start to become more interesting and you start to make better friends. Thank you for watching this video, bro. Have a good day.